South African National Civic Organisation here in Gauteng says the taxi industry is being discriminated against and must be subsidised. SANCO also says that increasing taxi fares while the country is under the grip of the COVID-19 pandemic, in its words, unacceptable. ETV reporter Pule Letshwiti is in Pretoria and is on that story for us. What is SANCO's reasoning then, and why has the organisation chosen to wade into this debate?
Well, a very good afternoon, Jeremy. Quite a very good question as well. But the South African National Civic Organisation says much more discussions have to be held between the presidency's office and, of course, them themselves. And SANCO saying that, much more relations have to be conducted in terms of how they're going to alleviate the pressure on commuters. Basically, what they're arguing about here is that commuters are the ones who are going to bear the brunt of these whole decisions that have been taken on the top, one of which is the fare taxi price increments, which they say commuters can't afford to actually be forking out more money than they have been before, saying much more principles have to be put in place. They also go on to talk about the safety of the 100% capacity load, saying these are commuters who are going to work and going back home. Therefore, their lives are in danger, but at a greater risk, their families' lives are also in danger because there has to be much more compliance and regulation here. But we spoke to the regional chairperson of SANCO in Gauteng earlier on, Abraham Mashishi, and he had this to say.
What we can say on behalf of the commuters is to say the taxi industry need to be very much fair and honest. If they are angry with government, let them not take their anger to the commuters, because the poor community, the commuters, they are the working class. So there is no way that you want to pay your price from the commuters instead of engaging with government. And it's very disturbing because this taxi industry, it's a huge industry that can play an important role in our economy. But our government sometimes they don't take decisions. Once they say taxi industry can load 100% open windows, I'm not sure what informs them that. I don't know where they take that study to say they have to open windows in this winter and in this pandemic to load 100%. It's a society at its own. And therefore we are pleading to government to say they have to go back, because when they say taxi industry must load 100%, the very same taxi drivers, not owners, drivers, their life are at risk.
Pule, SANCO makes a very important point. One has huge sympathy with commuters, and the point that they make about families also being at secondary risk is important, but they would have listened to the Minister of Transport, who says there is simply no money in the coffers for subsidy.
Well, yes, those are some of the arguments they made there. In fact, they're actually pushing SANCO to go back and speak to the minister to say, what kind of implementations can you put in place in terms of protecting commuters and, of course, taxi drivers? So we went to Pretoria, we drove around and we spoke to taxi drivers. They're not budging, Jeremy. What they're basically saying is this fare increment is a way of surviving and a way of feeding their family back home. We spoke to SANCO as well, who was saying that, this increment is part of their annual increment that has to take place every year. And therefore, it's not just as a result of COVID-19. But of course, it's saying that they've conducted a public survey for commuters to actually speak out to say whether the increment is necessary or it's necessary but has to also increase. So there's quite a lot of discussions that still have to take place. But commuters, I tell you, are not happy about this.
I'm sure they're not. So what is the next move from the South African National Civic Organisation? Is it going to shout from the sidelines, or does it have a play? What is its strategy?
Correct. Now, you'd remember, this is a similar organization which supported SANCO in Gauteng when there was a shutdown. But now it seems as though they're coming up with more ideas to say, look, we need to talk about this. How are we going to take this matter forward? Or else we might have to take a right-wing move. But they don't want to go that move yet. They're saying that they want to engage with SANCO, and therefore SANCO needs to take their grievances and engage with the Minister of Transport for there to be some sort of transparency in the process. In the interim, they're going to wait. But they're saying that they will be engaging with SANCO to make sure that they put the right principles in order to make sure that everyone's lives here are protected.
All right, live in Pretoria for us, ETV reporter Pule Letshwiti, thank you very much.